The number 3 seeded Iowa State Cyclones find themselves matching up with the number 14 seed ASUN champs Lipscomb. Iowa State comes in here with some unfortunate news. Keyshawn Gilbert out for the season. For anyone that watched any of the Big 12 tournament, however, saw Iowa State's lone game. Was that their own? No, they played Cincinnati and then played BYU. But their game against BYU, you saw Curtis Jones just put on a show, right? I forget what he finished with, 31 maybe, but he went on a stretch in the first half where he went 6 for 8 from 3. Just really, really fun to watch. So obviously losing Keyshawn Gilbert hurts, but it's nice to have a guy like Curtis Jones in your back pocket coming off the bench.
Yeah, I think Gilbert's a big loss. I think he coordinates a lot of the offense. He sets up guys like Curtis Jones and Milan Momcilovic. I don't think Tamin Lipsey is the same level of playmaker, and he's really – Jones can create offense on his own, but ultimately I do think they need a really good creator to set those guys up. And ultimately that's going to hurt them long term. Not sure if it's going to hurt them here, but yeah, it definitely kind of caps their upside, which is sad because I was so high on this team at the beginning of the year, and I did think they had a chance at full strength to make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, I think losing Gilbert also hurts them defensively. With especially in like some of these games against teams that take care of the ball well, like Iowa State is a team that wants to get up and pressure you and hopefully get that to be something that you don't do well in that game. And that's a spot here where Lipscomb is a team that doesn't turn the ball over very much. I think they only turn it over, I think sub 10 a game. So turn it over at a low rate. Iowa State, of course, likes to feast on turnovers in the midcourt and get out and run and get layups. Keyshawn Gilbert's a big part of that, getting up and pressuring around half court. So losing him here and Curtis Jones going to get plugged into that offensive lineup. Or into that starting lineup. He's not the same caliber defender. Like oftentimes at the end of games, they would sub him out late for defensive reasons. So they're not going to get the same thing here. And then they're going to have Kelderman, who's going to be playing probably a little bit more here. He's not the same kind of defender, obviously. He's really more of just like a capable open shot maker. Nothing else other than that. So, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be like Lipsy and, who knows what his health looks like. And Heisey, he's going to be asked to pick up a bigger load defensively. I don't think it's going to bother them in this game, but definitely moving forward, I think it hurts them.
Yeah, I mean, that Lipsy injury, like, who knows? Like, we would assume that he's going to play, but they said he was going to play against BYU, and he sat on the bench the entire game with that groin injury. So groin injuries are a bit iffy. Like, one movement, you can kind of tweak something again. So who knows if he's able to stay on the floor for 40 minutes. But, yeah, on paper, I guess it's a pretty good matchup for Lipscomb's offense. They take care of the ball. They shoot it really well. You can kind of shoot over the top of this Iowa State defense that likes to take away the rim, led by Jacob Ognjenovic. They have a ton of shooters on this roster that, can potentially space out this Cyclone defense, but overall not super high on ASUN teams making a deep run. That there's not a lot of defense played in this league, so maybe their numbers are a bit elevated by playing extremely weak defenses. I think this is one of the worst rated defensive leagues in the entire country, so there could be a little bit to that and, kind of boosting their numbers there. And on the defensive end, I don't really think there's much upside for them. They're a really bad rim defense, especially since their center went out for the year about 15, 16 games, and his name kind of escapes me right now, but he was a really good rim protector. He had like over a 10% block rate, which is elite. And now they don't really have that sort of replacement. Their replacement's like 6'8", 6'9". This was a 7-footer that they had to replace. And, their 2-point defense kind of fell off a cliff after he was out when he missed. He's been out basically all of conference season. So we haven't really seen him play against a power team since they played like Arkansas at the beginning of the year, who they competed with. But I don't really know if they're going to be able to compete here with an elite team like Iowa State, who is beat up, but not sure it's really going to matter.
Yeah, I think that a guy like Joshua Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson, they're going to have their way here on the inside. Just physically, those guys are different, and that'll show through in this game. One more interesting stat about Lipscomb's offense, which leads me to believe maybe they could hang around in this game. I don't expect them to win by any stretch, but they play a very fast pace. They take the 56th most shots per game. I think about 62 field goal attempts per game, and turn it over. Like I said, sub 10 per game. Pretty impressive. They average over 81 points a game and play that fast of a pace and only turn it over like 9.5 times a game. So their ability to take care of the ball while also playing in high possession count games is pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't think it's a matchup that Iowa State wanted to see. You looked at them last year, Iowa State matched up with South Dakota State, and it's a pretty similar scheme, a pretty similar play style. And South Dakota State was able to hang around for a little bit. Obviously, maybe South Dakota State had a little bit more shooting talent. Like that team had Zeke Mayo on it, and he's kind of lighting it up for Kansas now. But it's a pretty similar style. And if they hit 15, 16 threes, who knows what can happen? Like, I guess it could potentially be the upset of the tournament, because I don't really see any 15s or 16s beating ones. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. If Lipscomb's able to, take care of the ball and hit shots early in this game, it can give them a real chance.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely not something we expect. We're going to side with Iowa State here to move on to the second round to take on the winner of Ole Miss and either San Diego State or North Carolina.